That's it. Season's over. The Charlotte Hornets season is over. What kind of season was it? We're going to talk about the Charlotte Hornets today. Good season, great season, disappointing season. LaMelo Ball. What are your thoughts on LaMelo Ball? Good leader, good player, a lot of potential. Has he turned the corner? Let's talk about the Hornets, y'all. They got 2 draft picks in the top 20. It's a lot to discuss on this episode of the Coach Cherry Show.
They say keep it a buck, I say keep it a vibe. I'm ready now.
The Charlotte Hornets season is officially over. It's over. Time to reflect, time to talk about what kind of season. I know we wanted to see them in the playoffs against the Detroit Pistons. And Orlando was not playing their best basketball. As a matter of fact, let me check while we're talking about this. Let me check a quick update, because the last time I checked, Orlando beat Detroit in game 1. Wow, that could have been us. Orlando beat Detroit, the number 1 seed in Detroit, in game 1. That could have been the Charlotte Hornets. Well, gotta move on. What kind of season did the Charlotte Hornets have? Was it a good season? Was it a bad season? Disappointing? What kind of season was it? This season was a success, y'all. Yes, it was. I know the loss. I get it. I didn't want us to lose either. 44-38. Made it to the play-in. Now, everybody has different thoughts about the play-in. Oh, the play-in ain't nothing. Well, it's postseason basketball. In other words, it's basketball after the regular season. It's not playoff basketball. It has a playoff type feel, but you have the regular season. Once the regular season is over, anything after that is postseason, because everybody didn't play in the play-in. So when you're doing something like that, and Indiana wasn't in it, Washington wasn't in it, Chicago was not in it, Milwaukee, teams were not in the play-in. So it's postseason basketball. The next step, obviously, is to get to the playoffs. Not only did they make the postseason, they gave us one of the biggest, most exciting wins in Charlotte Hornets history. We're going to talk about that in a second. But you got to say it was a good season. 44-38. A 9-game winning streak at one point during the season, a 6-game winning streak, a 5-game winning streak. We may have the Rookie of the Year in Con Knipple. Exciting. And then you get to the play-in and they give us more excitement in the play-in. Success. Because if you don't think it was a success, don't forget about the past history of the Charlotte Hornets. Look at this. When you look at the history of the Charlotte Hornets now, last season, we won 19 games. That's it. Didn't even win 20 games. The Hornets were 19-63 last year. What about the year before that, Coach Cherry? 21-61. What about the year before that, Coach Cherry? 27-55. So the last 3 seasons before this season, 27 wins, 21 wins, 19. My goodness, it was getting worse. How much worse could it? And then we have a 44-win season, the most wins since the 2015-2016, a decade. The most wins in a decade. And you're saying it wasn't a success? See, guys, you can't switch the expectations. Because when they were 19-63 last year, we asked for 2 things. Number 1, we said, can we just get everybody healthy? That got checked off this year. Now, at the start of the season, guys weren't healthy. That's the reason we ended up in the play-in. Had it not been for that, we're in the playoffs. So we said, number 1, can the players just be healthy the majority of the season? Got that. Number 2, we said, can they just be competitive? That's what we asked for. Just be competitive. They did that, y'all. Competitive. Some people were saying they won 19 games last year. Can they just get us 32, 33 wins? We'll take that. Some people just wanted, a lot of fans were just saying, if we could win in the 30s, we'll take it. They gave us 44 wins. And you're telling me that? But see, when they started winning, your expectations started changing. Oh, we might be. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Because now you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Don't do that. You got your 44 wins. You should say, wow, we weren't expecting that. That was a bonus. I just was expecting 32, 33. Gave us 44 wins. The play-in was kind of a goal. But had we just won 34, 35 games, that wouldn't have been a disappointment. Because what you wanted to see was the team trending upward. That's all you wanted to see. And now some are saying, I will say this. I think how they lost to Orlando is disappointing. I don't think to me, the loss is not disappointing. Coming into this season, I wanted the Charlotte Hornets to get the 9th seed and win a play-in game. That's exactly what they did. Ask the people, ask my son. Ask the people I talked to, I said, I want to see them get the 9th seed and to be able to host. I got everything that I asked for. That's what I got what I want. Because I wanted them to host a play-in game so the city would feel the excitement of postseason play. They gave us that. I said, get the 9 seed to be in the play-in. Gave us that. Get the 9 seed so we can host a playoff game and get energy at Buzz City in the Spectrum Center. Gave us that. They won it. I said, just win one play-in game. They did that. Now, I didn't expect a 30-point loss to Orlando. That I did not expect. Now, that was disappointing. But I'll be honest with you, I think the win against Miami, that just zapped the team. The celebration, because not only was it a postseason win, it was how they won it. It looked like down the stretch we were about to lose that game. Con Knipple wasn't playing well. LaMelo Ball wasn't shooting the basketball well. Then we have a turnover late, foul Tyler Hero. He gives them the lead with about 10 seconds. It looks like, oh man, we've blown it. And then the way that they won it, that's what caused the excitement. Kobe White comes in. If Kobe White does not have that kind of game, they don't lose. They don't win. I'm sorry. If Kobe White doesn't come in shooting the basketball like that, they do not win that game. Period. They needed someone to get hot. Brandon Miller wasn't really balling out. LaMelo wasn't shooting well. Con wasn't shooting. Miles Bridges was playing well. Miles Bridges was hooping. He had 28 and 9. Musa Diabate, not a big scorer, but Musa had 14 rebounds. Musa and Miles were sort of keeping us right there. And then Kobe White comes into the game and catches fire. Kobe White gives us 19 off the bench, and made some clutch baskets. I'm talking about clutch. That basket, when he's the sideline out of bounds play. You see that shot that Kobe White made on that sideline out of bounds play? Clutch. And then LaMelo started getting going. Then Brandon Miller started to get going. At that point, now we become tough to beat. But that's the thing. And that's what was disappointing about Orlando. We have so many scorers. LaMelo, Miles, Brandon, Kobe, Con. All of them can score. And so you figure at least 1 or 2 guys are going to be on all 5 guys surely aren't going to be off every night. Well, against Orlando, that thing got ugly, and it got ugly immediately. The Miami game, I think that was our season. That was the season, y'all. The 44 wins, the getting to a play-in game, to be able to host a play-in game, and to actually win our first play. That was the first play-in win that we've had as an organization. That was our season. And it felt like it. That night, that felt like the season. We celebrated that thing like they had just won the NBA Finals. That was the season. And when they got to Orlando, they didn't. There was nothing left. My concern with Charlotte was physicality. I said that going into the play-in. I said the one thing, because I didn't want to see Philly. I knew Philly was a gritty, physical, even with Embiid out. I didn't want, because I knew I don't think we play well against that style. Miami showed us some grit. Had Bam Adebayo been in the game, it becomes really challenging then. But I think if Bam Adebayo plays and gives them more offense, Davion Mitchell doesn't have the game that he has, because he doesn't get the same shot attempts. Davion Mitchell played lights out. Absolutely played lights out. He doesn't have that, because he wouldn't get the same number of shots. So if you say if Bam would have played, now Bam would have given them more on the defensive end. He would have. But offensively, they probably score about the same. Because if you say, well, Bam would have gave him 20. Because first of all, Bam's not a 30, 35-point scorer. That ain't him. He averaged 20 this year. That's including the 83-point game. So he ain't a big-time scorer like that. But let's say Bam got his average, 20. Well, you got to take some points from Davion. A lot. Because he's not dropping 24, 25, whatever he had. He ain't dropping that Bam plays. So I think offensively it would even out. I think where it would have helped Miami is on the glass, because we were getting some second chances from Kalkbrenner and Diabate. I think it helps Miami on the glass and defensively. But that win was so big. Some say, is that the biggest win in Charlotte Hornets history? No. It might be number 3. It might be number 4. No. That's not the biggest win in Charlotte Hornets history. Because the team has been bad for so long, it feels like it. You said, well, Coach Cherry, if that's not the biggest win in Charlotte, what is the biggest win in Charlotte Hornets history? Well, don't forget when we were playing the Miami Heat, Kemba Walker and the Charlotte Hornets playing the Miami Heat in the playoffs, Dwayne Wade and those guys. And we went up on them 3-2. Remember that? We went up on Miami 3-2 in the first round of the playoffs. That was a huge win, because we're thinking, oh, snap, we're about to go to the second round. And when you look at the Hornets' history, as far as their records, and you start talking about the second round, the last time the Hornets were in the second round, you got to go. Little history. The Charlotte Hornets have had 30, after this season, have had 36 seasons as an organization. They have 36 seasons. They've been to the playoffs 11 times. Now, that's including the Bobcats era. That's because the Bobcats have 3 of those playoff appearances. They've been to the playoffs 11 times. Only 4 times have they been to the second round. I'm talking about the Hornets. They've only been to the second round 4 times. So the Kemba Walker Charlotte Hornets victory over Miami was like, oh snap, we're about to go to we don't go to the second round often. We've only been 4 times in the history of the organization in 36 seasons. And so that was a huge win. Now we ended up losing the series in 7. Miami ends up winning the next 2 games. I don't know how but anyway. So that's one of the biggest wins in Charlotte Hornets history. Kemba Walker, Charlotte Hornets over Miami in round 1 to give us a 3-2 lead. Don't forget, now that my next 2, I don't know which one is bigger. Kurt Rambis made the game-winning shot. Remember this? The first season of the Charlotte Hornets. Remember, Kurt Rambis made that buzzer beater. Guess who? If you forgot, December 23rd, 1998 at the Charlotte Coliseum. Who did he make that game-winning shot over? Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Huh? Michael Jordan's first trip to North Carolina as a professional. He loses to the Charlotte Hornets. Kurt Rambis put back buzzer beater to beat the Chicago Bulls. That, first of all, the city is already on 10 because we have an organization. We have an NBA team. Wow. And then the Magic Johnsons are coming to town, and the Larry Birds are coming to town, and the Charles Barkleys, and now Michael Jordan is in the Charlotte Coliseum, the state where he grew up, North Carolina. And we beat the Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Now, it wasn't Jordan in the championship Bulls. Again, this was 1988. Jordan didn't get his first ring until the 90-91 season. But this was still Michael Jordan, Eastern Conference Finals, battling it out with the Detroit Pistons. Michael was still considered the best player in basketball. He was still Air Jordan, dunk contest championships. And that win is huge. To me, the biggest wins in Charlotte Hornet history have to be either that Kurt Rambis put back to beat Chicago because of it being the first season of the organization, and look at who we beat. Pippen was on that team, the young Scottie Pippen, but Pippen was on that team. That's a huge win. That's huge. Now, you might feel like Kemba Walker beating Dwayne Wade in the Miami Heat in the playoffs is bigger than that to give us a 3-2 lead. You may feel that. My number one, I got Kurt Rambis' game winner at number 2. My number one is Alonzo Mourning, game-winning shot against the Boston Celtics, 1993. Why is that number one for you, Coach Cherry? It's number one for me because it was a playoff game. It's number one for me because not only was it a playoff game, it advanced us to the second round. That's the first time we had been to the second round in organization history. Now, we were still a young organization at the time. The Celtics are a legendary organization. You're talking about Larry Bird now? And I know it wasn't prime Larry Bird. It wasn't prime Kevin McHale. Kevin McHale was still hooping. Go look at the numbers. When Alonzo Mourning made that game-winning shot to beat Boston in the playoffs at the Charlotte Coliseum, and we beat Boston 3-1 and went on to the second round, I think that's the biggest win, the biggest shot in Hornets history, and the biggest win in Hornets history. I would put Kurt Rambis' putback a close second. I would. I'd put it a close second, not number one. LaMelo Ball's game winner is top 5. I'm going to put it number 4. Gosh, wait a minute. Hold on. I got to put it number 4, y'all. I got Alonzo Mourning number 1, Kurt Rambis number 2, Kemba Walker and the Hornets win over Miami. I got to put that 3rd, y'all, because that was an actual playoff game. The LaMelo Ball Hornets win over the Miami Heat in the play-in. I got that number 4. I got to put number 4. Huh? It's still top 5. It's still a huge win. I think in our minds it's bigger because we haven't had a big win since the Kemba Walker win over the Miami Heat. Since then, we hadn't had a big win. So I got it number 4. You say, Coach Jerry, is your math wrong? Our first season was 1988, 1989. It was. And it's 2025, 2026. Okay. Shouldn't that be 38 seasons, Coach Jerry? It's 36. Remember, we didn't have an organization 2002-2003 season. 02-03 and 03-04, we didn't have a team because the Hornets went to New Orleans. They were the New Orleans Hornets. And for those 2 seasons, we didn't have a team. So that's why it's 36 years for the organization. How about Orlando? The Orlando loss showed us that we're just not physical enough. We're just not tough enough. We didn't fight back. The Orlando loss showed us we didn't fight back, y'all. That's something to address in the offseason. I think this offseason, we got to address physicality. And here's the good thing, y'all. I know, we wanted to make the playoffs. The silver lining in not making the playoffs is we got a lottery pick. We have the 14th pick right now. I'm assuming it's going to be 14th because there's a itsy chance that we could get up in that top 3, top 5. Probably won't happen because we have one of the better records of the team in the lottery. So in all likelihood, we'll probably get the 14th pick. Okay, 14th. And that's fine. That's fine. Hey, listen now. I know this draft let me say this about this draft. This NBA draft, AJ Devonsa, Darren Peterson, Caleb Wilson, Cam Boozer, Darius Acuff, Kingston Flemings. Those 6. After those 6, y'all, you're going to have to do your research. I didn't say after those 6 there were no good players. I said after those 6, you got to do your homework. It happens every year. There are going to be really good players. The reason why I say Devonsa, Peterson, Wilson, Acuff, Flemings, Boozer, those are the obvious 6. Anybody can watch games in college basketball and say, oh, those 6 are, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Keaton Wagler. I forgot about Keaton Wagler from Illinois, point guard. 7. Those 7 sort of jump out at you like, okay, got it. Those are almost can't miss. Now, that doesn't mean all of them are going to pan out and be stars. But those are the obvious, you got to take those guys. Those 7. After those 7, you got to break down some film. I said you got to break down some film. The 14th pick is not the end of the world. Now, people are saying they need a big. The Hornets, we got to get a big guy, big strong guy, big old strong guy. Well, are there any starting NBA 5s in this draft? Don't force it. I know we need a big. We want a true 5. Moussa Diabate held it down. You got to love Moussa Diabate. He was an undersized 5 that led the team in rebounding, battled on the defensive end, and gave us second chance baskets after second chance baskets. You got to love Moussa Diabate. Got to love him. But a true 5. Kalkbrenner, he still needs to develop some. He's got to get stronger. He's got to get a little more. I don't think we need an offensive big because we got so many scorers around him. But we just need somebody a little stronger. Maybe Kalkbrenner will be that in 2 or 3 years, but right now he's not there. And Moussa, you're putting a strain on Moussa to guard Wemby. You're putting a strain on Moussa to ask him to guard Jokic or Jalen Duren or Wendell Carter. Like he's outsized. Now he holds it up. He holds his own, but that's asking a lot, man. He's outside. Get him some help. Put him at the 4. He can come off the bench behind Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges is really a 3, to be honest with you. So you could start Moussa at the 4, slide Miles to the 3. I'm just saying. Now that means you got Brandon Miller, Knipple, LaMelo Ball. It's tough to ask one of them to come off the bench. So maybe you keep Miles at the 4. But nonetheless, when you talk about the 14th pick, nobody's going to be left, Coach Che. Everybody's going to be gone off the board, man. Let me refresh your memory. Nikola Jokic was the 41st pick. Somebody did their homework. And a lot of teams didn't because they let that young man slide to the 41st pick. Nikola Jokic, who some say is the best in basketball right now. So with the 14th and the 17th pick, the Hornets have the 17th pick from Phoenix. The Hornets have 2 picks in the top 20. Jimmy Butler was the 30th pick. Somebody didn't do their homework. Manu Ginobili was the 57th. The draft was almost over. He's 57th pick. A lot of teams didn't do their homework. Tony Parker, the 28th pick. Draymond Green, the 35th pick. And we got the 14th and 17th. It's going to be some good players. Giannis Antetokounmpo was the 15th pick. There will be good players on the board at 14 and 17. The late, great Kobe Bryant was picked 13. He barely was a lottery pick. There will be very good players. Clyde Drexler was the 14th pick. Hall of Famer. Bam Adebayo was the 14th pick. Devin Booker was the 13th pick. Guys, John Stockton was the 16th. The Hornets have picks 14 and 16. There will be good players at 14 and 17. And that's assuming they get the 14th. With the lottery, they slim chance, but they could bump up to 13, 12, 11. You don't know. But even if they pick at 14 and 17, you got to do your homework. Because what's going to show is after the NBA draft is over, a year, 2 or 3 years later, people will look back on that draft and say, dang, so-and-so got picked at 23rd. He's an all-star now. So-and-so got picked at 35. He's a double-digit scorer that starts for the whatever team. Man, he wasn't even a first-round pick. Do your homework. Some people are criticizing LaMelo Ball. That's unfair. I've heard some people say LaMelo Ball is the reason the Hornets aren't further along. That is very unfair, y'all. LaMelo Ball, his rookie year, averaged 16 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 15.7 points to be exact. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. His second year, 20 points, 7.5 assists, almost 7 rebounds. His third year, 23 points. Numbers are going up, 8.5 assists, 6.5 rebounds. His fourth year, 24 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. Last year, 25 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. I'm talking about numbers. This year, 20 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, shot 37% from 3. The man has averaged at least 20 points and 7 assists every year except his rookie season. How many years is that? That's 5 years. LaMelo Ball has 5 consecutive seasons of at least 20 points and 7 assists. And you're telling me it's his fault? The only thing LaMelo Ball has not done is stay on the court. And he did that this year. He played 72 games. That's the only thing he hadn't done. To stay on the court. I get it. Look, LaMelo Ball is only 24 years old. What do you expect from LaMelo? What's your expectations? The third pick in the 2020 NBA draft behind James Wiseman, who he has clearly outperformed, and Anthony Edwards. Ant-Man is hooping. What are your expectations for LaMelo Ball? To lead the Hornets to what? I got it. Yeah, I agree. He's got to lead the Hornets at least a playoff series. And they should be getting to some second rounds. He's 24. Everybody calm down. You don't think the Hornets make the playoffs next season? Now, it's not his fault that Brandon Miller was hurt early this season. That's not his fault. It's not his fault that Miles Bridges and Moussa Diabate get suspended for that skirmish with the Detroit Pistons. That's not his fault. What if they win? What if Brandon Miller doesn't get hurt and they win 2 or 3 more games? What if Moussa and Miles don't get hurt and they win 2 or 3 more games? What if that happens? Now they're in the playoffs. What if that happens? This isn't all on LaMelo. Calm down. Now I know what people are targeting. They're looking at his image. Because see, when you're the face of a franchise, when you're the leader, especially when you're the point guard. Same thing in football when you're the quarterback. Bryce Young. People look at him like Bryce Young's got a Bryce Young. I get it. Expectations come with that. You're the number 3 pick in the draft. You're the face of the franchise. You're the point guard. You're the leader. Yes, that comes with the territory. I agree. But I think some of it is unfair. Because he's the most talented, he becomes low-hanging fruit. He becomes an easy target. Nobody cares what the 15th man on the team does. Nobody, you probably don't even know who it is. Who is it? You have no idea. Nobody cares what he does off the court, the 14th guy, the 13th guy, the 12th guy. Nobody cares. You don't even know. If I ask you, who are 12, 13, 14, and 15 on the Hornets? I don't know, Coach Chad. Liam McNeely or somebody? I don't know. You don't know. and you don't care. But when you're the most talented player on the team, the pressure is on you. People look at you and say, you've got to do something. You've got to help the team. You've got to. And because he carries himself a certain way. I get it. The tattoos, walking into the game with the ski mask on, the rap music, the vulgar rap music, the gestures after he scores a basket and he's doing his thing or whatever. If you're not winning, all of a sudden that's an easy thing to blame. That stuff may have nothing to do with why the team is not winning. Nothing to do with it at all. But because it jumps off the page at everybody, it's an easy target for unfair criticism. There's absolutely no way you can watch that game against Orlando and say, doggone it, it's LaMelo. If LaMelo would just, no, the Hornets got beat up. The Hornets just got beat up. They got shoved around the court. It has nothing to do with LaMelo Ball. But when you're not winning and you're flashy and you're outspoken and you're look, then everything that you do that people don't agree with becomes the target for criticism. It's unfair, but that's just how it is. And LaMelo Ball has to understand that. He's got to know you carry yourself however you want to carry. That's your decision. But he's got to know, now if that team doesn't win, they're going to point at you. They're not going to point at Brandon Miller because he's relatively quiet. They're not going to point at Con Knuckle because he's quiet. They're not going to point at Miles Bridges. They're going to point at because you're the point guard, you're the number 3 pick in the draft, and they expect you to do it. When they lost to Orlando, or if the Hornets don't accomplish what they're supposed to throughout the season, who they pointed at? LaMelo Ball has to understand that. And I think Coach Chair, are you saying he doesn't have any areas to improve? I didn't say that. Well, do you think he can improve in some areas? Yes, I do. He's 24 years old. He's a young man. He's 24. He's not even in his prime yet. He's still developing. When you get to your prime, you're about 27, 28. But he's headed in the right direction as far as development. Now, I think he will mature in certain areas. I do. I think that. Some of the decisions you've seen him make in the past, I don't think he doesn't strike me as the kind of person that keeps making those decisions. The man is 24. See, we lose sight of that and we think money is supposed to mature you. That's not how it works. Well, he's making $40 million a year. He's got to grow up. No, the money doesn't grow you up. Life experience does. Money doesn't grow you up. You're 24. You got to live life a little bit. So the mistakes that he's made, that is what will mature him, not the money. LaMelo Ball, I believe, is going to be fine. And you don't move a LaMelo. You can't win with a LaMelo Ball. I disagree. Well, they did. They didn't make the playoff. They won 19 games last year. They won 44. Now, some people want to give Con Knuckle credit. And I think you do need to give Con some credit. How much credit do you give Con? I don't know. I will say this. If LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller don't play this year, they probably win 19 games again with Con Knuckle. Yeah. You think they still make... No, absolutely not. You could put Brandon Miller out there. If LaMelo Ball doesn't play, they don't make that play in. And they don't win 40 games. Not at all. And that's with Con Knuckle on the floor. I think the kid out of Kentucky, Jaden Quaintance, 6'10-ish, big, strong, physical guy, good defender, rebounds the ball, finishes strong around the basket. He's a target for the Hornets. I think I would be looking at him. And let me also say this too. I said earlier, don't force it if there's not a big on the board. I believe in taking the best available player. Now, if Jaden Quaintance is the best available and he feels that need, take him. But don't take a big just to be taking one. Oh, well, the only big left is this big out of such and such a school. And if he's not good, don't take him to say, yep, we addressed the need. We got a 5. Is he good? Can he start in the NBA? If not, then why did you take him? With the top 20 pick, don't you dare do that. If you get to pick 14 and there are no NBA caliber 5s on the board, you just take the best available player. Don't you dare force that thing. You take the best available player. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, this was a successful season for your Charlotte Hornets. They're headed in the right direction. Y'all celebrate the season. They gave us an exciting year. Charles Lee. Good job. Good job, Coach Charles Lee. Good job, front office, Jeff Peterson, ownership. Good job. They're headed in the right direction. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Coach Cherry. I am your host, Coach Cherry, Jesus Christ follower, husband, father, former college athlete, former head coach, independent rap artist. Please hit that like and subscribe button right here on YouTube. Follow the channel for posts every single day. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, signing off, this is Coach Cherry. God bless you.
Came a long way from minimum wage. Started flipping burgers at minimum age. I ain't make a lot, but at least I was paid. Helped my confidence. Regular haircuts turned into fades. Now a big smile like I'm winning in spades. Every day I see how the game's being played.